right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pros with Calm podcast. Took a hiatus last week, took a week off to kind of regroup, get some stuff rolling. Wanted to get an episode out of the 6-month recap, kind of with the Pros with Calm podcast. As you can see, no pros with me here today, so unfortunately you just get Con. But it'll be all right. We'll get some pros back on, and we'll kind of keep it rolling. But we're gonna go over all that in this episode. This will be a shorter episode. Won't be your full length Pros with Con podcast episode, but we're going to keep it short and sweet and just kind of give a recap of everything over the last 6 months, kind of what we have on deck and what we have moving forward, and kind of just give a recap of what to expect. So it's going to be good. Like I said, it'll be a shorter episode, just kind of going to go over everything, everything that we've talked about, understanding what's to come, the mission, kind of revamping and revisiting that so you guys can kind of get an understanding of what the point of this episode is and kind of just get a one-on-one with me. Like I said, unfortunately, no pros with me here today, but that'll be all right. We'll just have Con rolling and see what I can bring to the table by myself. 6 months since we started the Pros with Con podcast, so it's been good so far. I'm enjoying it. I love what the whole idea behind it is. I love the mission I created behind it, kind of the values and the outlook of what I have in mind and what I think come up other than just like marketing for the gym here at Aurelius and other gyms surrounding the area. But I also love the whole point of getting people on that are just who people I consider pros and just highlighting them, talking about them in a positive way. Everyone that have had on has just been super cool to kind of talk about them and what they bring to the table and why I value them so much and what I think they can offer to anyone really in the fitness world or the health industry or just from a personal relationship standpoint. So everybody I've had on, it's been cool to kind of just talk about them, for you guys to hear more about them, for me to be able to have them talk and let them have the floor and speak things and just see why I value them so much. And it's been cool to kind of have that as an element of it, to talk positive about the people and then whoever we have on, and then kind of just have cool, fun, silly episodes. We kind of keep it loosey-goosey, but it's also good stuff. We try to have some good content in regards to what we think and what we value and why we think it's important, and all different avenues that kind of can take you on and all the different perspectives. Which is another element that I value on this episode or this podcast for sure, is just the perspectives. So we might talk about similar things, but different people have different viewpoints and different perspectives on how to get there. So that conversation is just really cool. And that's kind of the big point behind what Pros with Con is, just having good conversations with people and kind of going from there. As far as the overlook of what Pros with Con truly is and like why I think it's cool and the kind of the mission that I created to kind of relay to you people, or at least try to, is this. So I mean, the mission for this podcast is to inspire, encourage, educate, and motivate people to become healthier versions of themselves through meaningful, purposeful, and quality conversations with pros. Also to help guide and navigate people inside and outside of the gym and why they are distinctly related and how the right community can persuade that. So that's pretty much the mission and the whole mindset and background of what I had in store for when I started thinking about doing a podcast or just trying to get something going. So along with all the other things about talking with people and relaying the messages that we try and speak here on a daily basis at Aurelius, and then myself at other gyms like Box Strong with Mallory and Chris for iPerformance at his gym, having those people on and then us just talking and having good conversations and hopefully getting the most out of it so people can kind of hear what they need to hear or get inspired, get motivated, get encouraged, get educated for as much as we have to offer, or the pros themselves. That's kind of the whole point. So getting people on and getting different conversations out there on different topics and different perspectives, that's been really cool. So that's kind of the whole idea and the whole mission behind this podcast. I've had some good conversations with people recently on like where that could go and some stuff we have in store, which I'll touch on more in a little bit. Like I said, it won't be too long of an episode, but I do want to talk about that briefly just to kind of see where we're going and what we have in store, and that kind of thing. But recapping just the guests that I've had on so far, everyone's been super unique in their ways, but very much similar in their ways as well. So it's been cool to kind of have all these people on and understand where they're coming from and different backgrounds, but we all seem to have the same kind of mindset with specific topics regarding like community and fitness and health and how it's all intertwined and why it's important and the conversations that can come from that. So all the guests that I've had on, such as like Josh Platts, Neil Schaefer at Footballer Fit, Chris Fry Performance Training, longtime friend, Corey Beaumont, Corey Big Bozer Beaumont. Excited to have him back on. Mallory, Kurt, Leah, Frank, Josh Turnley, Dana, and then Jacob. All kinds of pros that I've had on so far with all different backgrounds and perspectives on things, and all the conversations that come from that, specifically within CrossFit, and then also just like health and fitness in general, and like why those are all interconnected in some way. We all like to identify the critical things in fitness and health inside the gym and how they translate outside the gym, the community aspect, all the ways certain topics can drive good conversation, and then how that could help people hear what they need to hear or see what they need to see in order to try and live a healthier lifestyle. So inside the gym, whether that's from a competitive standpoint like we do here in CrossFit a lot, or whatever your case is, strongman, all those kinds of things, or just doing fitness as a lifestyle. We fully want people to recognize how important fitness and health is for longevity and sustainability in your life, and how performing inside the gym and being healthy and active and fit can translate outside of the gym to do things that everyday people want to do. Picking up your kids, sitting on the couch, all these things are super important into those later years. So it's important to navigate conversations in a way that help you lead to understanding that, but also just feel inspired and encouraged to kind of do the same with your own life. So that's a pretty cool element of the podcast, and why I think it's cool that all these guests I've had on kind of live that mindset in some way, shape, or form. It might look different from each stage in their life. They might go into fitness, get out of it for a brief time, and then try and work back in. So we've had conversations like that. So I feel like the topics and conversations are pretty endless, and that way we could always find a different perspective to kind of recap on, or have good conversation or debates or whatever the case is. So over the last 6 months, I feel like we've done a pretty good job of getting different people on and just understanding why that's important and understanding what is to come from that. So I think it's cool to hear that in a sense, and I think it's understandable for people in general just to kind of relate to. And I think it's cool to kind of understand what each person is bringing to the table, and I think that is a super important element to bring to here as well. So I think while we're doing that and recapping, while we're recapping episode, it's kind of cool to talk about all that. Kind of got sidetracked for a sec, but it's all right. So all the people we've had on have kind of brought a lot to the table, and it's been cool to have those conversations. So like I said, that's the mission. All the conversations and topics we've talked about so far. So perspectives on topics and similar ideas, but unique. The life application, big topic of discussion here. Gym perspectives such as goals, percentage work, understanding programming, etc. Confidence, when to push versus when to not pull or push as hard. Nutrition, goal setting, the nonprofit. Mallory and myself are super involved with, along with a couple other people in our respective gyms, the center in Midland. We've had a wide variety of pros fit on here, and all approach fitness just a little bit differently. So identifying how there's not like a one-size-fit-all method. That's a super cool topic. And then just the community aspect, how that's played a big role there too, and it's essential for sustainability. So we want to keep that in mind, and we want to kind of try and figure out what to incorporate into these conversations to help people feel that way. So that's been cool. As far as what's to come, I'm super excited to keep rolling and understanding where we can kind of go from here. The mental health aspect has been a big topic of discussion amongst people trying to give feedback. So I kind of have someone lined up to come on in March who's a professional in that field. So look out for that episode to kind of touch on how mental and physical health is important and how they can kind of impact each other in some way. The importance of body work, taking care of yourself, both physically and mentally, but also more so the physical aspect. So I have someone also lined up at some point to come on and talk about like how important massages are for if you're in CrossFit or whatever, or cupping and all these things that they're out there now to help improve your body and improve your performance and help you recover a little bit better or more quickly. So someone coming on to talk about that, which is going to be super cool. Also have someone who kind of got me started in my CrossFit journey, or just like my fitness and inspiring journey to help others through overcoming adversity. So that's going to be a cool topic. I'll have that person on as well at some point in the future. And then continuing rolling with Kurt, who's been a big important person on this podcast, along with Mallory and Chris and all these people. Can't speak highly enough about all those people, and I'm super excited to get them back on just to kind of see what else we can talk about. Getting Corey back on here, so he was on earlier in the episodes with Chris, but I think it'll be cool to get him on here. So Corey is the guy. So he got his PhD from Tennessee in exercise physiology, and we talked a lot about exercise readiness through a dissertation case study that him and I participated in for him to kind of get some research in for his dissertation to receive his PhD. So I'm excited to talk with him about that more in depth, and then also I have down Mallory to get her back on to kind of just talk about all the things me and her involved in. So she's a pretty good friend of mine. Can't speak highly enough about her and her business at Box Strong and how we always are bouncing ideas off each other. I'm just super fortunate to be involved with her in some capacity over at Box Strong, and just all the ideas we have to kind of help each other through the intentional talks and all that kind of stuff. So that's a good one I'm excited to have back on, along with everyone else. So Kurt, Chris, all these people I consider pros, plus all the new people I have lined up ready to go. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, I wanted to keep it super short and brief and understand what's to come and what kind of the recap episodes, and then kind of maybe add a little bit more structure and see what we're going to do through that to help relate to you guys more each week. And I'll get some more content out about that here to come. But basically that's kind of it. Just wanted to recap what we've been going over so far and kind of see where we're going from here. And it's been super cool, and I just love this platform to help spread awareness, to try and inspire and educate people. Caring and showing that relatability, and just showing how much you love and care for people to be healthy and have the best possible life they can for as long as they can. So I'm super fortunate to at least have the equipment and all these people that surround me here at Aurelius and Box Strong and Fry Performance and all these gyms around the area, 580, to kind of just bounce ideas off of, or just and get inspired from as well, and just spread what the whole idea is behind that. So I'm super excited to keep it rolling and see where we go from here. But that's pretty much it. Just want to give you a quick recap, and we'll get it rolling. And I'm super excited to see where we get going from here. And thanks for listening in. And like I said, sorry there's no pro with me today. You just get Con, unfortunately. But hopefully you still listen in, and we can see where we go. All right. So appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys each week.
You have been listening to the Pros with Con podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. Come back each week for a new episode. Thanks for listening.